Angel, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to create a collage newspaper collage effect on Photoshop. I just want to let you guys know in advance I am a bit sick when recording this, so my voice might not be the loudest, so I apologize in advance. So the first thing that you're gonna want to do for this Photoshop effect is find your image. I find that portraits that are just solely focused on the person's face and doesn't have too many things in the background, or simple objects like a singular car with nothing else in frame, will work best for this. And you're going to want your image to be in black and white. So if you don't already have that, first we're going to convert it to a smart object, and then you can hit Command U for the hue saturation panel, and then just drag the saturation all the way down. And once you have this, we are going to be going to the filter section, go to stylize, and you're going to go to the oil paint. Once you're in the oil paint section, you're going to have the stylization and the cleanliness all the way up at 10. And for this oil paint filter, make sure that the lighting is turned off. And for reference, when lighting is on, it'll have these brush strokes for like an oil painting, but you're not going to want that for this project, so just turn those off. And the scale and bristle details are in correspondence to the lighting, so since this is turned off, you don't have to worry about that. You're going to hit OK. Then after we have this, we are going to go to Image, we're going to go to Adjustments, and we're going to go to Shadows and Highlights, and just have more of that contrast between the blacks and the whites and the grays. We're just going to use the default for shadows and highlights and hit OK. Once you have that, all of this was in preparation for a filter that we are going to use to make our process a little easier. So we're going to go to Filter, and then we're going to go to Filter Gallery, and the filter that we're going to use is the Cutout filter. It's under the Artistic panel. For this, you're going to want to make sure the number of levels is all the way at 8. For comparison, this is what it would look like at 2, and you're going to want it to be at 8 so we have the most detail as possible. For edge simplicity, this can vary from photo to photo, but the range that works best is either 5 through 8. But as you can see for this photo, getting to this territory will make it pretty much unrecognizable, so 5 is the best middle ground for that. And for pretty much all photos, the edge fidelity can be left at 1. So once you have that, that's what your image is going to look like. And now we're going to go to the adjustment layer, and we are going to scroll down and go to the posterize. I'm going to hit that, and you're going to leave it at the level 4. And this is what it'll look like, and it'll basically block out everything in black, white, and gray. And this is going to be the base for our effects. Before we move on to the effects, make another adjustment layer for levels. You're going to want to make sure that the levels layer is underneath the posterized one, and we're going to be using this later for adjusting how much of the light and shadow we want in our textures. After we have that, we're going to make another adjustment layer, scroll down to the very bottom, and hit Gradient Map. You're going to want to make sure that the gradient map is at the very bottom of all the levels. And you're going to click into the gradient so you can edit this gradient map. Make sure that the first color is going to be 100% black. Hit OK. And you're going to add another color here, and this is going to be 100% red. So you're going to do 255 for the red, and make sure that the location here is going to be at 33%. Now we're going to add another color, and this one is going to be 100% green. So red and blue will be at 0, and 255 green. And this location is going to be at 67%. And lastly, we're going to do blue. So you're going to go to the white, and you're just going to replace the white with 255 blue. And we're going to hit OK. Gonna make sure the gradient map is actually on top of all of that. Sorry. So gradient map, and then the posterize layer, and then the levels layer. So that's how you're gonna want to do this. And then now that you have the gradient map, I'm going to be using textures. The tutorial that I am following is from Texture Labs, so they provided textures in their video description, so I'm going to be using those. These are the 4 textures I'm going to be using, so I'm just going to drag those into Photoshop. And you can hold down options so you can scale this while everything stays in the center, and you're just going to scale every single one. And you're going to want to make sure that your textures go from lightest to darkest. So I'm actually going to swap out this red. So it'll be the light gray, then this texture, then the red, then the black. For now, let's turn off all of these textures except for the black texture. And then we're going to double click so we can go into the layer style blending options. And for this, you're going to go down to the underlying layer section. And you're going to take the white and you're going to bring that down all the way to 0. And what you see here is from that gradient map, the texture is only going to go into the part that were 100% black. So you can see that in comparison to the others that are still colored with the RGB. Now we're going to turn on this next texture. And same process, we're going to go to blend if, but instead of gray, we're going to do red. And instead of dragging down the white all the way to 0, we're going to bring the black all the way up. And once you do that, it'll cover that red section with our texture. And see how it's only affecting the texture that's in that specific color. So that's why we made the gradient map earlier. Then you're just going to repeat the process. The next one is going to be blend if green. And you're also going to drag the black all the way up. Then lastly, I'm going to do blend if blue, and you're going to drag that all the way up. So now this is what your image is going to look like. And now we're going to go back down to our levels. And the reason we made this is so that you can live edit how much of the textures and colors you want to be seen in your photo. So you can adjust it to your liking. You can add more black, more red, make the person more defined. You can make it less defined. But this is basically all up to interpretation. I kind of like the effect that this look has, so I'm going to keep my image at around that. But basically that is going to be my tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys have fun with it. Bye!